This is the best lens I have ever used, and today I'm going to show you exactly why. This is the Sigma 18-35mm f1.8, and this pairs so perfectly with my micro four thirds camera, which is the GH5S, which I am filming on right now. Now this is an EF mount, so I can't natively put this on my Lumix camera because it has a micro four thirds mount. So I had to get a speed booster or an adapter that allows me to connect from EF to a micro four thirds mount. And basically this lens is on my camera 90% of the time. The 18-35mm zoom range on this lens covers pretty much all my needs. I believe the full frame equivalent with this lens, especially paired with my speed booster, is about a 25mm to a 50mm. And those two focal lengths by themselves are about the same two lenses that I would mainly use all the time. And I get all that in this zoom range and in this package. And by the way, this lens is such a great size. It's not too big and it's not too small. It's just, it's perfect. And it's not actually even this big. I've got a speed boost on this. I'll show you. It's actually only that big, but I've got this on. How do I put it back on? So yeah, it's actually quite the small size if you're mounting it straight onto your camera natively and you don't have an adapter with it. Another awesome thing about this lens is the barrel doesn't extend when you zoom. I'll put this down for a second, let me show you. It's not zooming, look at that. Isn't that just great? It stays internal. So if you're rocking this on a gimbal, you're gonna be all good because it's not gonna extend the barrel and you might fuck up your balancing. You set up the balancing once and you can basically rock with this all day. Now, I guess it's also worth to mention that, you know, it's a f1.8 aperture, so it's very fast, great in low light, but it's even better for me once I have a speed booster on it. It goes all the way down to a 1.3 aperture, which is awesome. It gets super wide open and allows even more light in, and it's great in those situations. But I will say it does get quite hard to focus when it's fully open at f1.3, so that is worth to note, but it still does get great results. Even though if it's a little bit soft, it still looks bloody beautiful. Now, you've probably actually clicked on this video because you want to see real world footage, real world test shots with this lens, to see the characteristics, the image quality it produces, and I will say it looks amazing. One thing I can't really speak about on this lens, and that is unfortunately the autofocus, because I don't really use autofocus because I can't really. Now, I'm at least referring to continuous autofocus where I can track a subject and all that, because I can't really use those features on my camera. I've got a GH5S and we all know the older Lumix cameras don't have the greatest autofocus performance, so I can't really give a good test to show you how that performs. But I can say it still does work through the adapter, the speed booster, but it's only really for a single shot autofocus to sort of select the subject to make sure they're in focus, like to click the screen and it'll go, boop, you're on focus now. But I can't really use it to continually autofocus and track a subject or anything like that, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure it performs great on a native camera with probably better autofocus. So to wrap this up, I think if you have a micro four thirds camera, this is a must-have lens, and the only caveat with that is you have to get a speed booster or an adapter. I would definitely suggest getting the speed booster because it opens up your field of view and allows you to drop down to that f1.3 aperture, and it just maximizes the potential, really. Let me know in the comments below if you have this lens and your experience with it, and if you're like me and you use this basically 90% of the time on your camera, especially micro four thirds camera, because I know this is a super popular combo with a GH5 series, and it has been for years. I'll link this lens in the description below if you guys want to pick one up, but that's about it. Rock on, and I'll see you guys later.